Welcome back through the lens of Neville. What does Neville say or said and have been proven right by all these wonderful movies put out by Hollywood through from the 50s on up even to today? If you haven't seen the original Twilight Zone series, I'm probably going to break down a couple episodes, but just as a small commercial, Rod Serling, as I mentioned in the last video, and Lucille Ball both used to attend Neville's lectures. And so they became students of Neville's. So when you look at their works, any of the productions that Lucille Ball helped, and there's a long list, and I'll probably mention them in the next video, helped produce Desi Lee Studios, and it became a studio system inside of Hollywood and blew it up, basically. We're talking from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Amazing times. So look at the Twilight Zone ones, the black and white original ones I'm talking about. And those are from the mind of Rod Serling, and he was a wonderful writer, and he made all those wonderful episodes. We used to go surfing. I think it was in 10th grade. One summer, we went every single day to the beach, the summer, and we would come home, eat some buttered noodles, and put on Twilight Zone. It came on at 12 noon, and it came on at 12:30. So we'd watch 1 hour of that. We surfed all morning, 4 or 5 hours, whatever it was, and then came home and had some noodles or whatever, and then we watched the Twilight Zone like clockwork the entire summer. So we saw the entire series that summer. I remember it. It was funny. Those are great examples of people who learned from Neville and applied his teachings into their works. And they're wonderful. All of their works are wonderful. The comedy of Lucille Ball, forget about it. But today's movie, Through the Lens of Neville, is Cocoon. Now, this movie and the first movie I just talked about last week, or whenever I put these out, is Flatliners, 1990. This one's going to be Cocoon. I believe 1985 by Ron Howard. I will not be able to dictate all the names in this movie, but there are some wonderful characters in here. Don and Maish, I think. There's some good names. I don't know them, and this isn't about that. It's about the story, so much more. The gal. Now, I'm going to start to get into the spoilers right now. If you haven't seen Cocoon, I highly recommend it. 1985, Ron Howard. Stop the tape here, go watch it, then come back, because as I move forward, I'll start to reveal a lot. So what you have is the, let's see if I can try and bring it all back, because there's some high points I want to get to, but I forgot when I looked up the movie while I was, after I watched it, the gal who is one of there's a guy who runs a boat, and he's having a hard time. I forget his name. He's Steve Guttenberg. Very good. He's been in a lot of movies in that era. And when he comes in, he's having trouble with paying this guy, the harbor master, getting money from his clients. He's not getting a lot of money, so he's like on the edge, no money, so he can't pay for his situation. And then these 4 people come up, and I wish I was better with names of these characters or these actors. 4 of them come up and they say, "Hey, we want to hire you for the next 26 days." And he says, "Oh yeah, for sure, let's do it." So Steve Guttenberg's all happy, and his character, and he's going to get hired to go be a boat captain for them for whatever their journey is all about. One of the characters in that crew of 4 hiring his boat is a gal, and I believe she's the daughter of Raquel Welch. I thought she looked kind of familiar, and when I looked her up, I believe she is literally the daughter of Raquel Welch, which is a pretty good tie-in to all that actor business. But her character and the other 3 are part of this group of, now in the Neville language, I'm gonna try and stay in Neville, but I'm gonna tell you the story too. So they were the way Ron wrote it, or whomever wrote it. These are 4 aliens coming back to Earth to get their lost other settlers that were on Earth 10,000 years ago, some kind of number like that, and they're under the ocean. So their whole time with the Steve Guttenberg character is to go to this dive spot, pull them up, bring them over here. They've rented this huge villa, and they are buying that for a month. They put these cocoons in the pool. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, these 3 guys from the old folks' home, one of them was actually only 50 in the movie, but he just had white hair. It's kind of funny. The other guys were, I think, in their 70s during the movie. But they want to go swimming, just like kids would go band together and go find this abandoned pool house, which is tied to a piece of property that nobody was living in. And that's why those guys from the boat rented it. So they would go get the cocoons out of the ocean, with Steve Gutenberg, and they'd bring him back to the swimming pool. Well, they took their first swim. Everything was great. When they came back for another swim, I think this is how it went. Paraphrasing all of this, of course. This is a conversation between just us, right? The cocoons weren't there the first time, and then they were there the next time, and then all of a sudden they just felt youthful and vigor, and just it's a very funny movie because all of a sudden they're back at the retirement home, and they're dancing with their wives. Coitus is involved. Everybody's just, the wives are happy, the men are happy, virality just all over, just abundance of youthful energy. The one guy that didn't go in the water was like, what the heck? Or he didn't go to the pool. The whole movie, he's always jealous of what these guys are going through or doing, and he can't figure it out. But it ramps up, and then one day they're in the pool house, and they have all this youthful vigor, and they're just not going to disturb these cocoon things. They're just going to swim, and they realize, whoa, this is having an effect. What is this? So one day they're in the pool, and then let's call them aliens. The four characters who are the aliens are bringing more cocoons back after a day at diving. They're coming back, and they hide in the closet. So they're carrying the cocoons in, and the one gal, this is the most brilliant part of the movie. This is Neville all the way. The gal, the character that I think is Raquel Welch's daughter, I believe, she is in there, and she's taking off her clothes, and they show from the legs, she's disrobing like she's going to go in the pool. But she doesn't just disrobe, she disrobes her garment. Her garment, the Neville garment. She takes off her skin, literally. First, the show is showing it, she's disrobing like she's going to go in the pool. Then it's showing she's pulled off her skin. Then she's a massive light, like a humanoid, but brilliantly lit. And these guys are in the closet looking through those little slats in the closet doors in the pool house, and they're just like, what? And then the light being notices them and looks at them, and then they all freak out, and they all just start running like crazy, and they run out of there, if I remember correctly. And I believe the Steve Gutenberg character is wondering what the heck. Somehow he's involved. This is all a mishmash in memory. I'm going to be dictating, but the beauty of it is the Steve Gutenberg character, I believe, got involved with the guy who hired him, and that guy pulls his eyelid like this, and the light comes out of him. And I mean to tell you, it's so Neville, it's so brilliant, because we all are light. And the way that movie depicted this is just a wonder to behold. I really don't want to spoil the end because it has to do with a bigger analogy that I'm working together. I say go watch it. The ending, I have a really good system I'm putting together with the ending of that movie, and I don't want to spoil either one. But it really goes on, and from that moment of seeing the light, and I watched this movie when I graduated in 1984. This came out in 85. I was already in the Navy, but I saw it back then sometime, probably in 86, who knows. Somewhere around that time I did see it, way back when, but I forgot all of these details. I knew of it, but I didn't remember all this wonderful part. So, biggest part in that movie, taking off your garment. These are light beings. We are light beings. We're wearing a garment. So as you watch that, and I'm not going to spoil the end because it's worth watching, you're taking off the garment, you are still light, you're still you, you're still awareness. Exactly as they portrayed it in the movie, which was brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So go watch it. There's going to be more. I'm going to drop all kinds of seeds in every single review that I do that is looking through the eyes of Neville, all right? So the lens of Neville, however you want to say it, but it's Neville-like wonders that are in movies. There's a lot of them. I don't even know. This list might not ever finish, and I don't know how many I'll put out. I'm just going to record them, conversational, what I remember. And we'll try and put a movie still in here, maybe the poster if I can find it on all these. All right? We're going to see you in the next one.